Hello, and welcome to Basic Color Correction in Adobe Photoshop. In this video, I'm going to show you guys basic steps on how to get to color correction. Not necessarily how to specifically edit the photo, but how to get where you need to be to edit the photo. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our Layers panel, and we're going to double click on the background layer that's locked to create a new layer out of it. And we're going to name this layer 1. Push OK, and now the background layer is gone and the new layer 1 that is unlocked appears. And from here we're going to edit our photo and correct the colors the way we want it to be. So there's 3 ways of getting to the layer adjustment panel. The first one is under layers. You could actually go to this half black and white circle, and here you'll find all your options to edit this layer. Or if you have the panels option on your panels bar, you could simply go there. And the third one is going to Window, Adjustments. And if that closed it, but if you go back, if it click on it, it opens up again. So the way we're going to do it in this video is we're going to do it from the Layers panel, because that is the most easiest way to do it, because then you're only working from this panel. So we're going to click, and the first thing we want to do when we edit a photo is correct its brightness and contrast. So we want to make it, as bright as we want, or bring down the brightness, which I kind of like bringing down the brightness just a little bit, maybe -10. And then we're going to make the contrast. So we're going to play with the contrast to, whatever we want. I'm feeling this just a little bit. Like I said, I'm not really editing the photo. I'm just going to show you guys how to edit photos. And after we're happy with this, we're going to go back to our Layers panel. And here you'll see that there's now an adjustment layer. In here, you could either get rid of it to see what the original one looked like to compare your edit to that, or you could double click on it and it opens up that adjustment with its specific settings that you just used. So you could even tweak with it more if you're not happy with it. So after we've done this one, we're going to go back to our Layers panel. We're going to make sure that the image is selected again. The image layer is selected again. And we're going to go back to the Adjustments option. And after that, if you want, you could either use levels or curves to correct the image a little more. I prefer to use levels. Curves is a little more complex. It does the same thing, but levels seems to work the best for me. So as you can see, there's different bars to pull to adjust your layer. You could adjust these to however you want it. There's a main, you can make it dull, you can make it light. Again, here is just another way to edit the photo to look the way you want it to look. Now there's other options here. There's selective color, which I use often, and there's hue and saturation, which you could narrow. Those two you can narrow into a specific color to change. So if I were to go to selective color and my reds are a little and I want to change my reds, you could go and change the reds. Just see how it just changes it dramatically, and I want to put a little more detail in my reds. Oh, that's not good. Just play with the settings and find whatever makes you happy. That's kind of cool. I like that. I like the way that's going. A little more detail in there with the black. Letting the blacks on the reds pop out a little bit more. So just remember that the more you edit your photo in Photoshop, the more you're taking away from the photo. You can overdo it. The image can become pixelized and ugly, and you won't be able to use it in print. It will just look really bad. So be careful to not use too many editing options. Limit them to about a few things, whatever works best for you. So again, play with all these options. Bring up an image and use all these options and see what they do for your image. Learn them by actually going in there and playing with them. That's the best way to learn how to use Photoshop. So after I've done my adjustments up here, the last thing I usually do is go to Filter, Sharpen, and I go to Smart Sharpen. Now, this sharpens the image a little bit, but you don't want to sharpen it too much. Again, it will make it look funny when it prints. So you kind of want to go, and you could click Preview off and on to see what it does to it. And you play with the settings. It makes it a little more vibrant. Turn it off. It doesn't make too much of a difference. We could adjust them more, and see, that one makes a little bit of a difference. Just makes it pop a little bit more. So I'm happy with that. Again, you don't want to make too heavy of an adjustment. Just a little one to make it pop just a little bit. Push OK. It'll take some time to load your filter in. And after your filter is loaded, your image is complete. Now the best way to save an edited image is to save it as a TIFF. So if you go to File, Save As, and then go to TIFF, that's how I save it. Saving it as a TIFF is the highest quality image form that you could save in. And the best part about it is that it doesn't compress your file, so your layers will still be there. So it's like having an image file and a Photoshop file in one. So instead of having two separate files, you just have one TIFF file, and you can send that TIFF file to print if you want, or you could go back, open it up in Photoshop, and re-edit your photo. So that's my tutorial on basic color correction. Go in there and play with those options. Do it in the way that I showed you to do it. Have fun, and take it easy.